Hello there, camera friend. I haven't spoken to you in like a month, but that's totally okay. I could do all the excuses that YouTubers do, but frankly, I just kind of forgot that you existed for a decent amount of time. So I decided to sit down and make a video today because Anne McGavin, aka TheGeekyBlonde, aka that girl that writes all those poems that go super viral, like the one that was on Queen Latifah and whatnot, she is involved with this collaborative project called FemmeTube, which is about elevating the voices of female content creators on YouTube, which is awesome, and I totally enjoy it. Part of FemmeTube is they're going to be extending her series called YouTube Girls into this full playlist of how people go about making their videos and creating content here on YouTube. And I just had a moment where I'm like, I'm a female content creator. I could so participate in this, and maybe if I do it, senpai will notice me. So that's what I'm doing here. The whole idea is to explain your content creation process from start to finish, and then put it out into the world, and then it might be in the playlist, and like I said, senpai might notice you. Whenever I come up with an idea for a video, I'm either procrastinating or actively in a lecture at that point. So luckily, I carry around at least 3 notebooks with me at all times. So first of all, there's my tiny ideas notebook where I'll just jot stuff down that contains such gems as, it would be so weird to sleep with the Kool-Aid man. He'd be like, oh yeah! I had no idea how I would put that in a video, but now it's in there. Once it goes through the tiny ideas notebook, sometimes if I feel aesthetically inclined enough, it'll get transferred into my bullet journal, wherein I have a page entitled Ideas and Inspiration. So it'll be fleshed out video ideas or just sort of lines for poems, and I actually have used some of these lines in poems. For example, the satirical How to Be Depressed video, which I will link right here, actually got made. I never actually ended up making things like the Suffering Olympics or YouTube culture is weird, etc. But I hope to be able to do those someday. So once they're transferred into the bullet journal, that's like a I'm going to do it kind of thing. A lot of the time, because I'm a lazy sap, my video making process is just me sitting down and talking at the camera, and then most of my writing, per se, it sounds so weird, but most of my writing actually takes place during the editing process, because I just tend to spew ideas at the camera, and then I'll pick the ones that make sense and put them together into the editing video. So when a video requires more planning, like if I'm writing a song or a poem, or if I'm doing a video like my inexplicably viewed 7,000 times green boots video that people hate me for, then I will write it all down in here so that I have a basic outline of what I want to say. But basically, my plan is to just sit and throw stuff at the camera and see if it sticks. Now, usually when I sit down to make a video, it'll just be me and the camera. When I'm in my dorm room is usually a mess, and there's no blank wall space for me to set up the camera. My room is a hot mess right now, but because we've got this blank wall behind me, no one needs to know. But when I'm in my dorm room, there's a very little blank wall space, so I'll usually throw up behind me a scarf or a blanket of some description so that there can maintain an illusion that I at least stay a little organized. If I'm already wearing makeup, then I'll be wearing makeup in the video, like today, because I have to go to work in a couple hours. But I usually won't put on makeup especially for a video, because I wear makeup because I enjoy wearing makeup, but if I'm having a day where I don't feel like wearing makeup, I'm not gonna put it on just for the camera. So I make a lot of different content here on YouTube, and the different content has a different filming process. Usually when it's a Maggie Rants kind of video, I will just sit here and be like, so what about that airline food, am I right? For about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I will edit out the stuff that actually makes sense and put that in the video. I don't do them as much anymore, but I also used to do these videos about the seasons, and so that just was me carrying my camera around to different things that I would do during the year, and then editing them together to go with some sort of indie pop skins type music that I was into at the time. I also have an ongoing series called Maggie Rereads Harry Potter. It was supposed to be done last summer, but life got in the way. So I have an ongoing series of that, which usually starts with me holding up the book for the thumbnail and then spending 15 minutes like, Snape, am I right? This is one of those that I'll usually have it written out ahead of time so that I can make sure that I hit all the points that I want to hit. Sometimes, I wouldn't call them haul videos, but sometimes I will do those videos where I just kind of list off objects, like my 2015 favorites, or my favorite STEM toys. And when I do that, I just make sure that I have the objects at hand, so I can be like, Tangle, am I right? Some videos of mine actually require a decent amount of research. The Green Boots video that I made actually involved quite extensive research. I looked into sources from the BBC, from historians working in that area, interviews with various Sherpas, and from reporters who were there during the avalanche. And that was extensive. I want to say 2.5 or so weeks of research before I actually sat down and filmed the video. And people still yell at me for it. That was the video that I learned that I was a piece of shit, apparently. It was really fun. The camera that I have is a Canon Rebel T3i. I got it in my junior year of high school because I scored highly on my SATs and I had half of the money, so me and my parents went halfsies on it. And I don't just use it for video making, I also use it for amateur photography. So this is the camera that works best for me. I know that a lot of people wouldn't want to use a DSLR for video making, and it's definitely not necessary to use it for video making. For, I want to say, the first 10 or 15 videos on my channel, they are all shot with the camera from my iPod Touch and balanced against a bunch of books. I usually just use a regular cheap tripod, but because my tripod was so cheap, it broke. As of right now, I'm making do with one of those plastic drawer things that you usually see in dorm rooms and a book or two on top of that to hold the camera up. We are a high-tech bunch here at Maggie Moo 13. Most of my editing is pretty basic. It involves jump cuts and cutting clips together. Sometimes I'll cut out an audio or I'll do a voiceover, but most of the time it's not that complex. I did a lot of my early editing with Windows Movie Maker, and I do all of my current editing with iMovie. iMovie has updated recently, so it's actually got a lot of really interesting features that I have not managed to explore yet, but like I said, most of my editing doesn't involve that much work. Just some housekeeping things. I am going to be out of the country pretty soon, so it will be likely that I won't be uploading videos over the next couple weeks. I was about to say regularly, but let's be real, when do I upload videos regularly? I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be putting the link to Anne's video down in the description. I'm also going to be linking to the YouTube Girls Project in the description. They will be accepting videos up until the last week of July, so if you want to get started on working on one, I'd highly recommend it. Though I have never met them, from their channels they seem like a group of lovely women. I hope that you enjoy this project and you might want to participate in it. I feel like in the future I might be talking more about what it is like to be a woman on YouTube and etc. So keep your eyes out for that. I hope that y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.